Alex Show.
Now at age 21, Kinshasia Johnson is able to share her experience of being a teen mother. Now, Kinshasia, at 14, how did things change for you?
Things changed. It was a paradigm shift, I must say. At the time, I got recommended to do 8 subjects at Bridgeport. I was going to Bridgeport High School.
So you would have been what, in fourth form?
I was supposed to go in fourth form this September. I ended up moving to live with my sister, and I got pregnant when I was there.
Okay.
And then I went back to live with my dad.
Oh.
So it was a series of constantly moving. So I went back to live with my dad. I didn't feel sick. I didn't feel nauseous. I didn't have any of those feelings. It was when I came home from the beach one evening, because my family and I went to the beach. And I was laying down on the bed with my phone on my tummy. And every second, every minute, I felt something vibrating. So every minute I take up the phone and I cuss me, I say, "Oh, what texts me?" But every time I took up the phone, I didn't get any messages or I didn't get any calls. So I was very much curious. I was there laying looking in the ceiling. And my stepmother realized that something was wrong.
How long after?
That was about 3 months, almost 3 months. I didn't feel nauseous. I wasn't eating excessively. It was the same amount. I didn't sleep any longer. I did none of that.
So nothing was at all was noticeable?
Nothing at all was noticeable, other than the baby's heartbeat. That was the only
So that would have been the vibration?
Yes.
Right, see, I know something about pregnancy. Right.
And then my stepmom called me, and it's a way where 4 females are in the house, and we know exactly when our menstruation should start. And she was checking up the dates. And then she said to me, she said that she's a bit concerned if I'm sure that I'm not pregnant. And I said to her, well, I'm not sure. I told her the truth. I told her that I'm not sure.
She knew that you had a boyfriend. You were seeing someone at the time?
No.
How old was this guy that you were seeing?
That was when I was living with my sister.
Yeah, but this boyfriend now got you pregnant. How old was he?
He was 19 at the time.
19.
He was 19.
Kinshasia's stepmother took immediate action to ensure her teen daughter had a pregnancy test. Their worst fears were confirmed. 14-year-old Kinshasia was now 3 months pregnant. The family was disappointed. But it was her father that took it the hardest.
He was very much angry, like I've never seen him that furious in my entire life. It was as if I was a stranger to him during the time when I was pregnant. And my stepmother, she was basically saying to him, at the end of the day, she's still your daughter. So regardless of the fact that she's pregnant, you still have to embrace and accept her. And it took him a very, very long time to accept that.
In fact, Kinshasia's father was so heartbroken, she was no longer welcome to live with him and her stepmother. Once more, Kinshasia moved to her mother's place. The life of a regular teen in school swiftly changed to a life of motherhood and emotional turmoil.
Emotionally, it was very difficult, but my mom, she always tried to encourage me and tell me that where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes.
So I use that as guidance, and my aunt, my sisters, they encouraged me all the way and said that I should go back to school. It's a must.
Yes.
So it was good for me.
Every
but
child must learn.
Every child can.
Yes.
But financially it was a struggle because my mother, she didn't work. And I was living with her at the time. So that was extremely, extremely difficult.
The child's father, where was he in all of this? And when he got the news, how did he respond?
When he got the news, he was shocked. He was somewhat shocked, wondering how he's going to tell his mom and his dad. Because of course he was still living with them because he was a teenager. He just left school. And he emotionally...
He was an adult teenager.
Yes, he was an adult teenager. Mentally, he wasn't prepared to deal with it. He was not ready to be a parent at all. So it took some time for him to adjust and decide that, well, he's going to be a father, so he has to step up to the game.
What did he do?
So my mommy never make him come look for me because she never name joke.
Okay.
But I could go to look for him. And I had curfews. So when I go, she's going to tell me, get here before 7:30
p.m.
Yes, 7:30 p.m. So I'd have to make sure that I get home before 7:30.
So your mother now was just making sure that you keep on a straight path now, and to ensure that you get your education, so that anything happen, you don't get pregnant again.
Exactly.
But to go and see him and come back, so you go under some control now. 7:30 p.m. it is.
Yes. And I couldn't sleep out. Like sleeping out was a no-no. I had to come back home. Whether it's a tsunami or a hurricane, I have to come back home. So I worked with it, and she spoke to me about certain things prior to me having my baby.
During this dark period of her life, Kinshasia finally saw a beacon of hope in the form of the Women's Center of Jamaica Foundation in Kingston. Along with other pregnant school dropouts like herself, Kinshasia benefited from the agency's continuing education programs. Additionally, she was provided vital counseling and training to assist her reintegration into the formal school system.
For me, that was the best experience ever, because the counseling sessions helped by way of us feeling more comfortable to speak to our peers and talking about things that we would normally tell other people.
And to deal with the outside world that with persons saying all sorts of things.
Yes, and we shared our experiences because everyone has different experiences. So it was a way of us rapping as not only students but sisters.
The birth of her son was the most extraordinary experience of her life. It began as a regular day at the center until signs of labor appeared.
I had my school bag on my back and I had on my uniform, and my counselor had to take me to the hospital. She was the person who actually checked me in, and the nurse, she actually came and she escorted me to the room, and she told me to change my attire and they will check me. And when they did, they realized that the baby is actually coming. So I ended up going straight into the delivery room. It was a very painful experience because, trust me, like, those contractions were killing me. But I had a very safe delivery, natural birth. And then when I gave birth to him, I was just there looking. I was checking for the 10 fingers and the 10 toes.
And the eyes and the nose and the ears.
I was there, and the nurse, she asked me if I'm not going to feed him. And I was like, well, I ate a lot this morning, so I don't think he's hungry.
So when you held him for the first time, what was that moment like?
I was really wondering if he was my child. Like, I couldn't believe it. I didn't even sleep the night. I was just looking at him.
Well, and me making?
Yes. I couldn't believe it at all.
His father came to the hospital?
No, he didn't came on the day. I came out like 2 days after that, and then he came to look for it.
What was his reaction when he seen one boy?
He was he did surprised. Like, he was just there standing looking at him. He was like, he's so tiny, I'm afraid to hold him. So it was a very good moment. I must say that it was a very, very good moment.
All right, we take a break. When we come back, more from Kinshasia.
The Average Show.